in the inside and got around a whole row in front of him, jumped up into about 4th position, starting back there in the 3rd or 4th row.
And, of course, these guys that are coming out of road racing are not used to running up against an outside concrete wall, and that can be very disconcerting.
Well, that concrete wall looks very hard to these guys. And you'll notice that most of them are running a little bit lower line than you see the midget guys who run here a lot. Just a little bit lower, not a lot, but especially coming off the corner right there. He's dropped way down below that white line. The midget guys who run here a lot run a little bit higher.
It's interesting that Bob Bondurant has a school here this week and next week on the oval. A number of these guys came out and actually took the oval school in preparation for tonight's competition.
Well, I think they all wanted to know exactly what was going on. They wanted to get, oh, we got a spin right down
the main straightaway. And the rear wing has been knocked off. Very difficult to catch the car number.
The left rear tire also took a licking there, took the left rear off.
Well, the driver obviously is moving around the cockpit. He is climbing out. There it is. Wiley is okay. Number 26, when the wing came off, it was wadded up down here along the front straightaway. We could not make out the car number, and we certainly don't want to misidentify a driver here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, as we'll hopefully have one more chance to take a look at this, Larry.
Yeah. We got a good shot of him coming off. Look at, he's got his right side tires right on that white line we talked about. He's a little bit lower than we see the midget guys.
Right
oh, he got a little tag right there. He got bumped. And then up and over him. Yeah, that was a case where there just wasn't enough room. He almost got that thing over. That doesn't happen very often in this rear engine racing. But I'll tell you, once he got up over that right rear wheel, he had no place to go.
That's what happens when two open cockpit, open wheel race cars get together. We're coming back with more from Indianapolis Raceway Park. We are back at Indianapolis Raceway Park on the Thunder for the night before the 500. Here's exactly what happened. Rudd in number 22 came up and actually put the squeeze on Szymanski, and Wiley went into the wall, got a little air under that, knocking off the rear wing, and he was very unhappy when he climbed out of that race car.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy, and I don't blame him a whole lot. There was just looks like the 22 car came out pretty good on the long end of the stick on that little crash. He has a bent wing a little bit. You can see the right front bent up a little bit, but not too bad, really. But he got squeezed pretty hard. He had no place to go.
We are going green. 2 laps are now complete of a 15-lap qualifying heat race, and your leader is Eduardo Olivero. This is his first time in a USAC Formula 2000 race. In fact, he's a veteran of Formula Atlantic competition as he leads the parade down the backstretch. Now, how much will that create a handling problem with the wing problem on Rudd's car?
Well, this is a little slower than a lot of racetracks, so it won't be a real big problem. But we saw just a while ago that Faulkner in that 5 car got a big challenge from number 44, Robert Berger, but then Berger dropped way back. Faulkner seemed to get a second win, and he's taken off after our front 2 cars now.
The top 3 are running nose to tail down the backstretch. This track is almost 7/10 of a mile around in the groove. And now look at this groove to the inside.
Sam Smith
trying the inside line.
Sam Smith really tried the bottom groove, and that's about as low as I've seen anybody come off that corner in a long time.
He almost lost a position because Faulkner came up then on the inside going down the front straightaway.
Well, you should point out on this racetrack there's less banking the farther down the racetrack you get. So when you're that low down, you're on a flat part of the racetrack. I mean, almost dead flat. So there's no banking to help hold you. That's the reason you have to run up higher near the top of the racetrack where there's more banking.
And Johnny Rutherford IV is in the pit area. Not a good start this evening in his first ride in a 2000 here under USAC sanction.
No, it isn't a very good deal. You hate to ever pull in the pits, but I'm sure he wanted to do good here, especially because of Indianapolis. His father and all of his father's friends are here. I'm sure he had high hopes for this race, but it's just not going to happen.
You were talking about the banking. This track is banked at 13 degrees, and for the most part, these guys are not used to running on a bank track and actually utilizing the banking.
Well, I don't think they're used to running on an oval at all, really. They're trying to get used to it, and some of them have adapted a lot better than others. It looks to me like right now that Smith is doing a pretty good job. I mean, he's tried all over the racetrack. He knows where he can run. I think he's actually running a little faster than Olivero right now, but he just can't find a way to get around it. He's tried to go down to the flat. He's tried up high, but he just can't quite get the speed and carry it into the corner to get around it.
Notice now both have pushed their groove up closer to the outside wall. They're running right on that white line and above it.
That comes with comfort. The more laps you get, the more comfortable it gets. So you see how high they went into that corner. That's because they feel more comfortable. The farther they run, the more comfortable they feel. The more trust they have in their race cars. That's what you can move up the racetrack.
In racing, they call it drafting. drafting. Now, at these speeds here at Raceway Park, is there enough drafting that he can actually slingshot by?
Yeah. This is third and fourth. 44 is Faulkner. He's, or Berger, I mean, he's trying real hard right there. Look at this. Look at Smith, though. He's tried all over the racetrack to get around Olivero. He's clear down on the flat part again. Watch Olivero.
He's blocking. He's watching the mirrors. He knows exactly where he is.
I think you're exactly right. He is blocking. A while ago, he ran real low through this corner when Schmidt went down there to try to get around him.
Now see, he moves slightly down the front straightaway there. Interesting statistics or strategy there, because obviously he has to be watching the rear view or the side view mirrors on this race car.
Well,
you can't watch out front. You can't. Oh, great shot from the channel blip.
I like this. You can see the high line there and the low line. There's no question who's in the high line on that shot. What a good shot.
Now, once again, the top 7 will transfer to the 50-lap main event. The top 10 in qualifying are locked in, and we'll take 7 from each of our 2 15-lap qualifiers. There is a look at your top 2 and the difference. And what, about 3 car lengths? It narrows down to about a car length down the corner.
Yeah, but look at Schmidt. Look how much faster he is going through the middle of the corner. It looks like if he just could once get a shot and get up the side of Olivero, he might be able to pass him, because he really seems to be fast right through the center of the corner.
Now, of course, these cars have mirrors. The midgets we'll see later do not have mirrors, so obviously Schmidt can look back and see that nobody is back there to challenge him. All right, obviously as a race driver, you want to win the race, but you don't want to take a chance of tearing up your gear, because this is only the qualifier.
No, you're not going to do that, but he's still using all the racetrack. Oh, look at this. That's
battle for 3rd position.
That's Berger down on the inside of Faulkner. Berger just takes him. Nice pass. Moved down in there, held the line going in, and went right on around him. Right in the middle of the racetrack.
Faulkner on the high side, up there almost to the gray area, where Faulkner had to back out the throttle a little more than he'd like to.
That's right. He kept him up there out of his groove. He didn't like it as well up there.
Here is the white flag. 1 lap to go. We've got a slower car out in front of your 2 leaders. This could be a very interesting last lap. Oh, look how low Schmidt is. All the way down to the flat apron. That's no place to run at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Well, he tried everything. The problem was Olivero was also down very low, so he had to go somewhere to try to get around him. Again, he's going to go right down across the flat. I don't think he can make it stick.
Olivero's going to win it. He is the veteran of Formula Atlantic competition out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. An international field certainly here this evening at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and there is a look at Eduardo Olivero. He was the 12th fastest qualifier this evening, which meant he had to go through this qualifying heat race, and he will start in the 11th position when we get ready for the future. Let's go back to the pit area, and Dave Despain on a rather famous name in racing.
Well, indeed, a famous name in unfortunate circumstances. We'll meet the winner, Olivero, in a moment. I want you to meet John Rutherford IV, and I want you to tell me what happened to the race car.
Oh, well, we were just out there running. It was running pretty well. You know, looked like we were in a good spot, and it just didn't run. Just stopped running. I don't know. It felt like it ran out of fuel, but they say it was full, so it might be something else that we don't know about.
Are you tired of people asking you if your aspiration is to follow your dad's footsteps across town to 16th and Georgetown? Is that your dream?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, yes. You know, I'm not tired of people asking me that. It's, you know, that's my dream. My goal is to get to Indianapolis cars, and hopefully soon.
Well, I hope that you got all your bad luck out of the way. First driving a full-time race car. It let him down tonight. That is John Rutherford IV. We'll be back to meet the winner of tonight's first heat right after this timeout. We're back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, where Doug Boyer has won the second of our qualifying races tonight. Congratulations. Let me preface this by pointing out that this young man has a third and a second place finish in 2 previous races this year. I guess you got your eyes set on winning this one, huh?
Well, I'm going to give it a good shot. We had a little trouble in practice earlier, and we got caught up with someone else, but we got the car back together, and it seems to be running real good, so going to give it a good shot.
This is a whole lot different racetrack from Willow Springs, where you've finished second and third. How do you like the oval?
Oh, I love it. I ran here last year and had a real good time, and I feel that my driving technique suits this oval real good, so I'm pretty smooth, and I'm going to give it a darn good effort.
We'll see what kind of effort he makes as he goes into tonight's 50-lap main event. Doug Boyer, the winner of the second qualifier. Let's go back topside.
Once again, we take a look at the top 5 as we will reiterate that the top 7 transfer into the main event. And there's a look at Boyer and Tracy and Wilson and on through the top 5. And then the 6th and 7th, Vatry and Renda also will transfer into the main event, with the Webb finishing in 8th. And don't forget, coming up on the 19th, in about 3 weeks, we will debut the Fastmasters here on ESPN. And of course, yesterday we had a press conference to make the on-track debut of the XJ 220, the world's fastest production car. It is one beautiful race car. We had members of the media taking a ride with Scott Pruitt, and he's had a lot of test laps out here at Indianapolis Raceway Park in the car, and seems to enjoy the testing laps with a big thumbs up there. What a good-looking race car, Larry.
A $750,000 race car. Look at Roger Ward. He was having a great time along with the rest of the guys.
There's Ed the Ace McCullough, 6-time U.S. Nationals champion. He'll be driving as well. And there's Jerry Grant, the first driver ever to qualify at over 200 miles an hour in an Indy car. Another of those beautiful Jags, the XJ220, on display yesterday here at Raceway Park for the media. And, of course, they all got a chance to strap on the helmet and go out and take a couple of laps as a passenger, not as a driver. Scott Pruitt did all the driving. Look at this. Walker Evans, a 10-time Baja champion. Bob Bondurant, they're checking out the times. They are so pumped up.
Wasn't enough humps in it for him, though. He didn't like it.
He wants an off-road track to work with. And, of course, the Seniors Racing Series will be featuring 50 racing greats. It all begins here on June the 19th, and the winner will take home $100,000. And I can tell you on that first week, guys like Bob Aiken and Gary Bettenhausen, there's Jerry Grant, Bobby Allison, 5 years to the day after his crash at Pocono. Fred Lorenzen is coming back to race, along with Ed McCullough, Tom Pistone, Jim McElreath, Troy Ruttman, the winner of Indy in '52, and Dick Trickle. What a night that is going to be. What a night we have here. You stay with us.
You're watching it all from the Family Channel blimp. Lower right-hand corner of your screen. Whoops, I just covered it up. Never mind. I was going to tell you about the road course here. That's all part. There, now you can see it. Thanks, guys. See that little kink inside turn 1? That's where the Fast Masters, the over 50 stars of motorsports, are going to do battle here as we kick that series off on June the 19th. They're going to be driving $750,000 Jaguars around this place. I can't wait to see it. I don't get any respect at all. Look at this. They're calling me Mr. Potato Head down here in the pit area, and all I did was try to pay proper respect to those who race on dirt. We're having a good time. The Formula 2000 cars are on the racetrack for the starting lineup, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Gary and Larry Show.
Larry, did they say Dave was a stud or a spud? I'm not sure.
Rodney Dangerfield.
All right, we are ready to give you the row-by-row lineup. We're going racing here with the USAC Formula Ford 2000s, the front row, and these are the fastest qualifiers. Jarrett Schrader was quick in qualifications. Clay Collier was second fast. They'll comprise the front row. In the second row, Dave DeSilva. He's won already once this season. Last year's champion, Chris Simmons. In the third row, Dan Osetta and Kevin West. Row 4, Mike Anderson and Bob Lehman. In the fifth row, David Conyers and Bob Knox. Those were the top 10 qualifiers. These are the ones that advanced through the qualifiers. Eduardo Olivero and Doug Boyer, they won the qualifiers. Sam Schmidt, Greg Tracy finished second in these qualifiers. In the eighth row, Robert Berger and Chris Wilson. Watch him in that 28 car. He was impressive. Mike Faulkner and Marcelo Gafaglio. In the 10th row, Rick Costin, Bruce May. In the 11th row, Steve Thompson and Larry Vatry. The 12th row, John Hayes and John Renda. Well, I tell you what, I was very impressed with this Chris Wilson. He went from 10th to 3rd in that qualifying heat race. Now, he's starting back a ways. He's starting back in the 16th position outside row 8. He was impressive, Larry.
Well, he could provide the most excitement in this race because he was very, very impressive. He was the one person that seemed to have that line going into the corner and around guys.
Let's go back down to the infield, Dave.
Is this a training ground for IndyCar drivers of the future? Let's ask Lee Morse from Ford SVO. You're the guy kind of in charge of making this program happen from Ford's viewpoint. What do you see as the value and the future of this series, Lee?
Well, we think it's a great program, Dave. But first of all, it's just a great pleasure to join you on Saturday Night Thunder. Watch this show all the time when I'm on the road or at home. And we see a lot of young talent in the Formula Ford 2000 series. And the USAC has done a great job bringing it to ovals, and it's nice to see young talent get a chance to get some oval experience, something with rear-engine Ford cars.
They're about a half a lap away from getting 50 laps worth of experience here. We're going green with Gary and Larry. Thank you, Lee Morris from Ford.
Speaking of Ford-powered cars, they got a few at the Brickyard for that big race tomorrow, don't they? The dual green flags. We are underway. A 50-lapper is now on the road. Jarrett Schrader, your fast qualifiers out in front. He's just like a shot.
Schrader took off like a bullet. I don't know what he did right, but it certainly worked, and he got a big lead on all the competitors down there. Look at the way those guys are jockeying back and forth.
A lot of twitching, though, coming off the corner. The car very unsettled in several instances.
Well, set up west, those green and white cars back there running it.
Oh, they just almost got together.
And just starting to say they've been really battling each other right from the start, and they almost did get together coming off of number 4 down there.
Of course, this being a 50-lapper, is there any strategy except go for it immediately?
I don't think so. I think all these guys are learning the ovals. They're learning this kind of racetrack, and they're going, oh, there's a spin up there. I can see it at the top of the screen.
Oh, I think that's our buddy. That's our buddy, number 28. That's Wilson. Well, there's no yellow, so they continue to race under green, and this could be very interesting because he has to come from the back of the pack, way back.
Yeah, I think he tried one of those real quick moves that didn't work so hot in this race, but, oh, there's a good shot. You can really see the distance. Oh, look at the lead. Look what a big lead you have.
Schrader was just gone in a shot. He was the quickest qualifier, and obviously he's lost nothing.
Well,
no one has been able to make any gains with the race car.
He and Collier and DeSilva were all three very quick yesterday in practice, but he was not that much quicker than Collier and DeSilva yesterday. I thought it would be a much closer race, but he just took off, and he is absolutely gone at this point.
Greg Tracy there in that black 4 car, the one we talked about looking like the old Lotus John Player special. He was second in one of our qualifiers this evening.
Well, he's got some midget experience. He's got some oval track experience on these. There's another close race back there, but he's got a lot of experience, Tracy, in that black number 4 car, and it seems to be paying off for him. He seems to be on the right groove, running pretty good.
Well, right now, he appears to be the fastest of those guys that came out of the qualifier because he's up in front of the Boyer, who won one of the qualifiers.
Yeah, that's Knox in that yellow car right behind him. And right behind him is
number
Sam
7,
Schmidt.
yeah, Sam Schmidt right behind him.
All those guys seem to be battling each other back there, trying to get around each other, but a little tentative. They're just a little bit tentative. These race cars don't give you as much room to make an error as a midget does. When you go into a corner, you see the midgets slide around and they kind of correct and they save them. These cars don't do that. Once they start to move around, once they lose the rear end on these race cars, they're pretty well gone. So you have to make sure the race car is going to stick before you can try one of those dive bombs.
Well, Bob Knox in that yellow car tried to move to the inside. That did not work. Now, Lehman is in the black car on the high side. And he is being challenged for a position by car number 20, Doug Boyer. Boyer once again stays low. Oh, and he stays too low.
Right there's
exactly what you talked about,
exactly
Larry.
what I said. He got down on the inside. That car never gave him a chance. Once that back end broke loose, he never had a chance to save it. It just went around on him.
Well, that was number 37 that we were watching. David Conyers loops it. And now he has a long way to go because he falls to the back of the pack, but they continue to race under green at Raceway Park. Back to Indianapolis Raceway Park. This is the shot from the Family Channel blimp. Now watch David Conyers in the 37 car, the white car there on your right side, the low side of the racetrack. I think he may have come down a little low and the track flattens out down there, just lost the chassis.
Well, that's all that happened. You know, just like I said earlier, these cars do not give you a chance to make a correction like a midget does. There's no second chance. Once the back end is gone, you're history. You're along for the ride. These rear engine cars are faster, but when something like that happens, there is no chance to save it.
There's a look at your leader. Your leader bobbles a little bit down the low side. The white number 96. Jared Schrader was the fast qualifier. He is going through traffic, lapping traffic right now as he completes his 15th circuit.
Well, just
boy, he was really squirrely down there.
I was going to say, just as I said that, he proved me a liar. He got that thing a little loose, and he did save it. That's about as loose as I've ever seen a rear engine car run on a racetrack like this and still be able to keep the thing under control. But he ran it loose all the way through that corner, and it bobbled twice, and he saved it both times.
When you talk about car control, a driver wants to feel the rear of the car with the seat of his pants, and he wants to feel the front of the car with the steering wheel, and he just had a great feeling for that chassis.
He does. He has an excellent feel for the race car to be able to drive it like that and still keep it under control. It's very, very difficult to run a rear engine car that loose and keep it going.
There's a look at second place. That is Chris Simmons. Chris was victorious in the championship series last year, and look at this battle back there, a battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Looks like they just dropped the green flag at the start.
Boy, it does. They're into lap traffic, and they're trying to get around those guys, so they're having to run on the low group. And it's plenty crowded down there in 1 and 2.
This is the time when you start to hold your breath as a race driver because of all these cars around you. One slight mistake there is Tracy. Greg Tracy moves to the inside in the black number 4. One slight mistake, and they're going to collect about 5 cars.
Yeah, oh, there they come 3 abreast off that corner. This racetrack just is not wide enough for that. But Tracy, I think he's beginning to get the feel of this oval in this race car because he's moved right to the inside. He's gone around 2 or 3 cars here in the last lap.
Yeah, he's running 4th right now. He certainly has that chassis set up. Tracy is the midget driver from the West Coast who is kind of juggling his schedule, which I think is a pretty good plan to go both the midgets and Formula 4s.
Well, I point out, he started 14th and he's passed 10 race cars. That's a lot of race cars.
Yeah, because he had to go through what we call the hooligan of the qualifying race because he was not one of the fastest 10 qualifiers. How many different lines have we seen employed here this evening?
Well, we've seen a lot in this race. A lot of these guys are hunting and searching, but there are a few of these guys who have really figured the racetrack out. I think Tracy being one of them, obviously Schrader being one of them, and a few others that really haven't figured out and are running real well, passing cars pretty easily at this point.
Looking at the blue car with the black tail, that is number 15. That is Mike Anderson out of New Jersey. And he just moved clear of several cars there. Knox in the yellow car with the black tail. I should say black wing, not a black tail.
Oh, look at this.
Look at this.
Wow, Chris Simmons really put a move on. Wow.
New leader after lap 22. A new leader. Chris Simmons in number 1. Now, he is your champion last year.
It just goes to show you how fast things can change in a 50-lap race. 20 laps gone. The first of the race, there was absolutely no catching Schrader. All of a sudden, Simmons caught him, and it seems to be pulling away from him pretty easily right now.
Yeah, he's going through traffic now. Simmons leading the Eastern standings right now by some 5 points over David Webb. And this will go a long way to pad the lead. This, of course, is the East-West shootout. As we mentioned earlier, USAC has an Eastern Division and Western Division, which minimizes the travel, keeps the guys closer to home. But this is a great opportunity for these guys to get some national exposure tonight. Yellow flag. We have a yellow flag on the racetrack.
Oh, look out, look out, look out. Nobody's, oh my gosh. Oh, they must not be paying any attention to the yellow flag.
Well, it's very difficult to even see the numbers from over here as the, well, we have the yellow flag out. Apparently, we're not going to a red flag situation, but look at the damage to the front of that one black car to the left side of your screen. We cannot even see the number, make the number out.
That white car had been sitting there for a good while. And the white car up along the fence and
that is Tracy, Larry, in the black car. That's the black 4 car of Greg Tracy on the inside that they're running to now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved. The red flag is now out. We do have a red flag condition on the racetrack. And once again, we talked earlier about looking over the front nose of the car as opposed to looking down the racetrack. That may have been the situation.
Well, look at the debris up there. I don't know whether it's the situation. I think it's just not used to running on an oval where you have to watch the lights much more carefully. You just must watch the lights much more carefully on an oval than you do on a road
There
course.
is your leader right there.
He comes around the racetrack. The crash is happening up there. This is the yellow and white car. They get tangled up.
And Tracy was just hit head on.
That was he was.
Can't even make out the number. We'll wait officially for all the names and numbers to be passed on to us.
See, the black car who spun first, the car back here in the back hits the fence trying to miss him. Then another white car up into the fence. All these guys scrambling on the binders. Guys down on the inside.
Right, there's the black car.
He sat there for a good while. Cars are crashing. Guys are trying to miss him. But here comes the car that really does the damage. Ooh, he went clear up over the top of him. Wow.
All right, there is the shot from the Family Channel blimp. A devastating crash down in the first turn here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We have a red light situation. We'll come back and see exactly what information we can pass along to you.
Tickets, please.
We are back at Raceway Park after the track has been cleared following this devastating crash. There is Knox up on the high side with Berger, and there is Simmons, the leader, just clipped Tracy, and Tracy gets hit head on by Schrader in the 96 car.
That's right, Gary. Tracy actually started this crash. He spun first. Knox and Berger get together, hit the fence trying to miss him. Several cars just barely go by. Simmons clips his front wheel here, is right there. No, that wasn't him. Another car spun, and then Simmons
right here,
and
then there is Schrader.
Schrader just hits him a ton. Almost got upside down. But there were several other cars that spun but didn't make contact. Right there is Simmons going by, and there's a devastating hit by Schrader.
Schrader head on into Tracy. We've had 6 cars involved. Those running in first, second, and fourth were involved in the race. And here are those involved in the crash. Berger in the 44, Knox in the 8, Cost in the 36 car. Simmons was your leader. Schrader was second, and Tracy running, I think, in 4th position. Let's go back down to the pit area, Dave.
We have an update from the medical personnel. Dr. Jim Nossett is the medical director here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Incredible as it seems after we look at that impact. Both the drivers involved, Jared Schrader, who was running second in the race, and Greg Tracy, who is the defending champion in this race, both were conscious and talking to the medical personnel. They've been extricated from their cars, and they are at the medical facility here on grounds. They've not been transported to Methodist or any other hospital in the Indianapolis area. We hope to have an update as soon as it is available after their medical examinations have been completed. Now, Chris Simmons was the leader of the race, and you saw his car go shooting through there. And Chris, first of all, from your viewpoint, it must have been a shooting gallery trying to find an opening through there. Tell me your experience.
Yeah, it was a shooting gallery, all right. I came in and was trying to look through the lap traffic, trying to get down low, keep moving through traffic. Next thing I knew, everybody was spinning in front, and I avoided the first couple and got into the oil and just couldn't avoid Greg Tracy in the middle of the track and hit him with the right front corner and tore it off and slid up into the wall.
It would appear that both you and Schrader had opportunity to slow down. Did you see the yellow?
I didn't see the yellow. All I saw was the car spinning ahead, and I was trying to keep the car straight. There was just so much oil that we really couldn't slow down. As soon as I tried to slow down, the car tried to spin. So basically, I was just trying to keep it straight.
We're glad you're through it in one piece. His car too damaged to continue, but this race is going to continue. And for the call, let's go back to Gary and Larry.
Because of the time it took to extricate the 2 drivers and all the debris up there that needed to be cleaned up, the race has been shortened from 50 laps to 40 laps. And look at this. This is Tracy's car, but notice the frame superstructure. It is all intact.
It's incredible that that frame withstood the hit that he took. I just can't believe that it's all still there. And the part that the driver sits in, his compartment, still was intact. And that probably kept him from having serious injuries.
On the restart, the white car that will have the lead is Clay Collier. He started outside the front row when this all began. David De Silva will be in 2nd place in car 24. The 87 car of Kevin West will start in 3rd, and then number 20, that would be Doug Boyer, will be starting in 4th position. Boyer started 12th, so he has a good ride going for him. Of course, we've lost about 5 or 6 cars because of that, but
well, that's right, but you have to do a good job to get up that far.
Okay, once again, we're about to start lap 24. The race has been shortened by 10 circuits from 50 down to 40. Your leader, once again, car number 18, that is Clay Collier.
Well, we're going to see what happens now. De Silva's had a chance to work on his race car a little bit, see if he's made any adjustments to it that can change anything. Here we're looking at
the 87 car of Kevin West, who rides in 3rd, make that 4th position. Then we can look back to the white number 20 of Boyer, who rides in 5th. But once again, he started a long way back, and he's all the way up to 5th position.
You know, a crash like that, Gary, just goes to show you how really fast these race cars are running. They don't look all that fast, but man, oh man, look at the 28 car. He spun, and he is really on the move. Been watching him go up through traffic ever since he came off that spin.
Yeah, he's 1 lap down. That is Wilson in the 28 car, but he is 1 lap down. He's being challenged on the inside by number 15. Number 15 is Mike Anderson out of the state of New Jersey, a regular with the Eastern Division. Look at this side by side. Oh, look how close they come to the outside wall coming off the 2nd corner.
It's pretty close trying to run side by side in these cars, I'll tell you, because they're not running all that high. They don't use that real top groove coming off the corners. And we get 2 cars running side by side to the 2 middle grooves, it gets real close.
Look at that move by Schmidt to the inside, and he is way down on the apron. The track really flattens out there, but it made it work for him.
Oh, man, I thought he was going to come right up into the wheels. It's a good thing they got mirrors on that thing, or I think he would have moved out.
Once again, Wilson, who is in that white car with the black wing, is a lap down as Schmidt goes by in the red-white number 7. Now 27 laps complete, 13 laps to go. We actually saw a car bottom out there and spark, which is reminiscent of what we see at Winchester when we see the midgets and sprints at the high bank.
Yeah, you don't see that too much of that here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, a relatively smooth racetrack.
How you like that shot, Rice?
I like that shot. I like to see what those race cars are doing, the line they're taking through the corners, and you can certainly see it. High up against the wall. Look at that third car in line there, that white car entered real high. That's a good line getting into that corner and stayed relatively high all the way around the racetrack. And that looks to be the groove if you want to run fast. And some of these guys are learning it fairly well.
Yeah, they're staying right up there on that white line, some above the white line, which is the quickest way around. So now we have 29 laps complete, 11 laps to go from Indianapolis Raceway Park, the annual night before the 500. We're coming back for the finish. Stay with us. And now we're down to the final 10 laps as they run side by side into the third corner here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Still leading is number 18. That is Clay Collier. He assumed the lead after that devastating crash over there in the second corner.
That's Capaglia on the inside of Wilson there, trying to get around him, but he just can't get by. And of course, Wilson, we said, is a lap down, but he's still racing hard. He's not letting these guys go around him. And it really creates a traffic jam right behind him. Capaglia, of course, wants to protect his position, so he wants to get around him so that the two guys behind him don't sneak up and go around.
Once again, he spun earlier, lost a lap, but he is just as fast as anybody out there right now and just as spectacular.
Right. That's Mike Anderson right behind him. He's working on Capaglia all the time. The Capaglia's trying to get around Wilson.
And you know, with those side view mirrors, they're very aware of where the car is behind them, something we don't see in midgets and sprint cars.
Yeah, I'm not real sure for oval track racing. I think those are a good idea, but maybe they are.
Back to the front of the pack, and there is a look at your leader, car number 18, Clay Collier. He's the young 18-year-old high school student. In fact, he's about to graduate from high school down there in Texas. There's a look at the second place, number 24. That is David Silva. He's only won once this season. He's from California. He won at Willow Springs early during the month of May. There's the gap between first and second.
It's not a very big lead. Collier seems to be pretty comfortable right there, but Silva just can't hang on to him, can't catch up with him. This is the battle. Anderson, he's going around the outside of Capaglia. Capaglia couldn't get around Wilson, who's a lap car, and he's kind of holding him up. So he held up Capaglia long enough, and Anderson went around on the outside.
Now with 5 laps to go, they're working lap 36. And Anderson looks to the inside of Wilson.
Yeah, he has his sights set on that car right in front of him. I think he's racing him for a position, and so he wants to get around. Look at Capaglia, though, on the outside. He's going back around Anderson as Anderson tries to go around Wilson.
Well, they're all trying to use that slower car to block their adversaries.
It's Mike Faulkner in that 5 car, that black 5 car. Oh, look at the leaders here. Things have really gotten tight here as they get into lap traffic, too. De Silva has caught up with Collier.
Collier in that white car with the blue wing. And there's De Silva right behind him, the red and black car. They are nose to tail down the backstretch. They're working on lap number 37. And he had a look to the inside. He had a thought about it, but the track flattens out down there, and you lose some momentum when you drive down that low.
Yeah, he got caught behind that lap car. He had to enter the corner that low because of the lap car. It just wasn't the fast way, so he gradually worked his way back up to the top of the racetrack. So we need to see now that they've got some open track, whether Collier can pull away again or whether De Silva can catch.
Well, that's what he's doing right now. De Silva was able to close in because of traffic, but now that they have clear track in front of them, Collier moves back out to a several car length advantage. The white flag, 1 lap to go. Now, once again, this race has been shortened from 50 laps to 40, and this will be the 40th circuit here at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
These lap cars, if they catch him, could be real interesting down here in 4. I don't think Collier wants to catch him very bad, but De Silva really wants him to get up there.
Here comes De Silva as the fans rise to their feet. Here it is, and Collier will hang on to take the victory. He moves down to block just a bit as the race continues back in the pack. Wilson, a lap down in that white car, is still holding back Anderson in 15.
Yeah, they're racing just as hard as they're racing for position. I don't think they really understand where they're at on the racetrack. They're just racing hard.
Well, there are the dual checkered flags. So once again, we take a look at our winner in the blue and white, number 18. That is Clay Collier. That is the young high school senior from Texas in the Collier Metal Specialties Blenzoil Swift Farley Ford. So our congratulations to the high school senior. He pulls out the victory the night before the 500 here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Dave Despain, Larry Rice, Gary Lee back with you from Indianapolis Raceway Park. We have just concluded the USAC Formula Ford 2000 feature. Clay Collier, the 18-year-old high school senior from Texas, takes the victory. Dave DeSilva from California finishes second, rounding out the top 5. Schmidt, West, and Anderson. And in the second 5, we have Gaffligo, Faulkner, Pacetta, May, and Lehman. So now let's go trackside. I think we had the winner alongside Dave Despain.
Well, we have him, but we had to drag him away from all these beautiful women here who want his autograph long enough to tell us how you managed to get down here out of when you're supposed to be at home in school. Clay Collier, what's the story? Are we going to blow your cover back in Saxby, Texas?
No, but probably my girlfriend. You shouldn't have said that. She's probably watching right now. She probably didn't like that comment.
I wondered about that pained expression.
No, I'm just signing autographs. I'm not talking.
I'll vouch for you. It was all on the up and up. We had an eye on you. It was a great win. Obviously, it's a race marred by a big crash.
Great. Oh, the crash, it looked pretty bad. Lots of cars on fire. Luckily, I made it through there without much trouble to the car. We got the front wing damaged a little bit, but man, the car ran great all weekend. I'm shaking. I can hardly believe it.
Congratulations on the win. A quick assessment of your future. Where do you want to go?
Indy cars, definitely.
Indy cars. He sees this as the training ground. We congratulate you on a great win here tonight.